Careers in machine shop. Opportunities in the machine trades. The tools, the machines, and the skilled workers in the machine trades have played a most important part in every step that man has taken as he has traveled from medieval times to the space age. Everything from the kitchen utensil to the most complicated instrument in a space capsule owes its existence to the skillful use of a machine tool. Machines are used in the manufacture of newspapers, books, washing machines, automobiles, airplanes, typewriters, telephones, radios, television sets, and many more of our everyday conveniences. Type shops. A job shop. A job shop is a machine shop that is equipped with machines and workers that can undertake a wide range of machining jobs of limited quantity and usually of a very specialized nature. A job shop may be called upon to develop the prototype of an idea thought up by a design engineer or an inventor. It may be employed to make a single piece or a dozen or 100 pieces in a standard or a special shape. Job shops are often used to repair machinery for manufacturers who do not have a mechanical maintenance department. Limited production shop. A limited production shop falls between a job shop and a mass production shop. It specializes in producing identical parts in limited quantities ranging from 100 to several thousand. Machine tools used in limited production shops are designed to withstand hard wear. They can be easily changed from one setup to another, with each setup able to make many repetitive operations. Mass production shop. This is a shop where parts are manufactured in vast numbers. Automatic and numerically controlled machines are utilized to the fullest extent. Machines are set up to perform several operations with several different cutting tools. Quite often, the work is positioned and repositioned by mechanical arms, thus enabling one operator to attend to several machines. Job description. The Apprentice. Apprenticeship is a form of practical on-the-job training given under the direction of skilled mechanics or technicians. A person becomes an apprentice when he agrees to serve a prescribed length of time in order to learn the job or trade offered by an employer. An apprentice can specialize in any one of several specializations of the machinist trade. Different job areas in the machine trades. Assemble fitter, boring machine operator, jig boring machine setup operator, broaching machine operator, drill press setup operator, engine lathe operator, turn lathe operator, gear cutting machine setup operator, tool grinder operator, all-around machinist, metal band saw operator, metal band machine operator, milling machine setup operator, millwright, planer setup operator, shaper operator, instrument maker, and inspector.
Engineering positions. Industrial engineering technician studies and records time, motion, methods, and speed involved in performance of maintenance, production, clerical, and other work operation to establish standard production rate and to improve efficiency. Prepares charts, graphs, and diagrams to illustrate workflow, routing floor, layouts, material handling, and machine utilization. Observe workers operating equipment or performing tasks to determine time involved and fatigue rate. Using stopwatch, motion picture camera, electrical recorder, and similar equipment. Methods engineer. Plan sequence of operation to be followed in manufacturing product. Examines blueprints, sketch, and specification of products to be made. Iternized steps to be followed in the process using knowledge of material, machine operations, plan layout, and mathematics to select the least expensive and most efficient production methods. Time study engineer. Develop work measurement, produce, and direct time and motion. Studies to promote efficient and economical utilization of personnel and facilities. Analyze work study and equipment specification to establish time and production standards. Applies mathematical analysis to determine validity and reliability of sampling and work study statistics. Quality control engineer. Perform and oversees activities concerned with development, application, and maintenance of quality standards for processing materials into partially finished or unfinished product. Devices sampling, produce, design, forms from recording, evaluating and reporting quality and reliability data, and writes instruction on use of forms. Establish programs to evaluate precision and accuracy of production and processing equipment and testing measurement and analytical facilities. Foreman. Supervise and coordinate activities of worker engaged in one or more occupations. Interprets specification, blueprints, and job orders to workers and assigns duties. Analysis and resolve work problems or assist workers in resolving work problems.
Safety in the machine shop. In this topic, I'll show to you how to prevent accidents and how to take care of the machines that you'll be going to use, and what are the proper dress to wear, and what are the precautions of every machine. In general shop safety, the operator must remove his or her necktie, wristwatch, and jewelry. The mechanist must wear an apron, shop coat, or coveralls. When should gloves be worn in a machine shop? And why would goggles or safety glasses be worn by everybody working in the machine shop? Gloves should be worn when the worker is moving sheet metal or large pieces of stock, especially when stock edges are sharp or rugged. Because gloves protect your hands from the chips metal that causes wound on the hands. And everybody must wear goggles or safety glasses because it prevents injury to the eye that caused by flying particles of metal that result when the work piece resists the cutting tools. What is the safe way to lift a heavy object? Don't attempt to lift a job or machine attachment by yourself if it is too heavy or too awkward for one person to handle. Before lifting, be sure that you have a firm footing. Keep your feet above 8 to 12 inch apart and get a good balance, and bend your hips and knees to squat down to your load. Keep it closely to your body and straighten your legs to lift. What must be done before beginning repairs on a machine? Remove the fuse that controls the flow of electrical power to the motor of the machine. Then, why is it dangerous to run a machine from which the guards have been removed? Guards removed to repair a machine or to enable the mechanist to make operative changes should be replaced before the power is turned on. Operator on unguarded machine is hazardous not only to the operators but also to the other workers who may come in contact with moving gears and other machine parts. Now let's proceed on safety on the bench. What causes the greatest number of accidents to bench workers? Most accidents to bench workers are caused by thoughtless use of tools, which include using a tool incorrectly or carelessly. Many accidents result from using a tool to do something for which it was not intended. For example, some people use the screw flat screwdriver as a chisel. Many painful accidents are caused by pointed or sharp-edged tools. What can be done to avoid this type of accident? Sharp-edged or pointed tools should not be carried in clothing pockets. Arrange the tool on the bench with the sharp ends toward the back of the bench. Lay the tools on a cloth to protect edges. Many workers are hurt because of the misuse of hammers. What rules is followed will remove the cause of these accidents. First is, always check the fit of the handle in the hammer head. Make sure that the wedge is in place and tight. Do not use a hammer with a broken or split handle. Always remove oil, grease, and dirt from the face and the handle of the hammer. Never use the face of the hammer to strike against another hardened tool. And now let's proceed on the hacksaw safety. Why is it unsafe to use a dull hacksaw blade? If a saw does not cut efficiently, it seems practical to apply more pressure to cut, increasing the chance that the blade will split with the great force behind. Also, the more pressure with poor cutting action will cause the blade to break. Next is, what are the rules should be observed for the practice of safety when hacksawing? First is, grip the work in the vise so that the saw cut will be near the jaws. Apply pressure only on the forward stroke, then start the saw cut with a light, even forward stroke, holding the saw frame at an angle when the cut is established from the frame level and saw the full width of the job. Take the longest stroke possible, but do not permit the blade supporting pins to touch the job. And then lastly, use a blade having the proper number of teeth per inch to suit the job. Fine pitch for thin metal, coarse pitch for thick pieces. And now, let's proceed on the drill press safety. The most common cause of accident on a drill press is that are caused by the work not being securely fastened, the job bruise be securely held, clamped or bolted down, whatever size hole is being drilled. How should work be held for drilling? Work should be held in a vise or clamped to the table. Why should the drill press operator keep his 26 hair cut short or wear a cap? To prevent stray strands of hair from being caught in the fast-moving belts or the revolving drill spindle. Why is proper dress so important to the safety of the drill press operator? Many accidents have been caused by long sleeves, dangling neckties, and untied aprons. It is safer to roll the sleeves above the elbow, remove the necktie, and keep apron strings tightly tied at the back. Do not wear rings or a wristwatch. What are the most important rules for safe operation of the drill press? First is, think about what you are doing. Keep your mind on the job. Second, dress safely. Remove rings, watches, identification bracelet, and neckties. Roll up your sleeves. Then fasten the job or vise securely to the table. Remove tools, clamps, wrenches, and so forth from the table before starting the drill. Remove drill drift from spindle or chuck key from the drill chuck immediately after use. When the drill becomes dull, resharpen it or replace it. Then grind the drill correctly for the metal it is required to cut. As the drill breaks through the work, relieve down feed pressure. Then stop the machine before measuring or adjusting the job. Then lastly, stop the machine before using a brush to remove chips and excess coolant. Next is safety on the lathe. Why should the lathe be stopped before making adjustment to the holder? When the tool post screw is loosened, the wrench may swing into the revolving chuck jaw. The sharp blow would break the tool post screw, causing it to fly and thus endangering the operator and nearby workers. How can wearing a jewelry create safety hazard for the lathe operator? Loose-fitting jewelry such as an identification bracelet or an article raised above the skin surface such as ring can easily be caught on a revolving machine part, which would drag a hand or arm into the moving machinery, causing serious injury. And here are some safety precautions on using lathe machine. Do not operate lathe until understand controls. Never operate machine if safety guards removed. Stop lathe before measuring work or to clean, oil or adjust machine. Do not use rag to clean work or machine when operating, because rag can get caught and drag in hand. Instead, use a brush. Now let's proceed on milling safety. How should milling cutters be handled? Milling cutters have sharp cutting edges and should be handled carefully. They should be held in a piece of cloth to prevent injury to the operator and to the cutting edges. Is there a safe side and an unsafe side of milling machine when the cutter is revolving? The milling machine operator should not stand on the side that the cutter is entering the work. The revolving cutter can drag the brush or anything else that get near enough into the work. The operator should always stand on the going away side of the cutter. What rules, if followed, will assure the safe operations of a milling machine? First is be sure that you are aware of the function of every operating control. Don't push a button, move a handle, or engage a clutch unless you are sure of the machine action, which will occur when you do so. Be sure that everything is secure before turning on the power. Check the cutter, the bolts holding a vise or any attachment. Check the job in the vise or chuck for tightness. Check the safe clearance of job, cutter, arbor, overarm bracket, vise or index head before turning on the power. Check the setting of speed and feed before turning on the power. Do not lean on the machine. Stand upright. Keep your head out of direct line of the cutter. Stay on the going away side of the cutter. Remove chips with a brush. Keep cotton waste and rags away from any part of a milling machine while it is in operation. Stop the machine before measuring the job, feeling the surface of the finished cut, tightening a bolt, changing the speed, or reversing the speed. Next is shaper safety. Here are some the safety precautions of using shaper machine. First is wear approved goggles or face shield. Select proper tool for the job. Be sure that the tool head, table, and table support are secure before starting the machine. Select the proper speed, feed, and depth of cut according to the kind of material, type of tool, and method of holding the work. Stand parallel to the direction of the stroke of the machine when it is operating and never reach across the table between strokes. Do not touch the tool clear box while the machine is running. Make adjustments on the work set up only when the machine is stopped. Turn off the machine before leaving it. Lastly is the safety on the grinding machine. Safety precaution. Last is the safety on the grinding machine. Here are some of the safety precautions of using a grinding machine. First is trained person only can use the grinder. Always wear safety goggles and a face shield during operation. Wear a close-fitting gloves and a coat or heavy shirt for protections. Always change the damaged disc. Never remove the guard. And do not use a damaged grinder machine.
Hand tools for bench work. Hammers. Hammers were one of man's earliest tools. The types of hammers used by machinists are limited, but they are available in many sizes. Machinist hammers are classified as hard or soft hammers.
What are hard and soft hammers? A hard hammer is one that is made of carbon steel and forged to shape and size. It is heat treated to make the striking faces hard. A soft hammers may have the entire head made of a soft metal sack as lead, babbitt, copper, or brass. Soft face hammers have only their striking surface made of plastic, rubber, or rawhide. The faces are either clamped or press fitted on the metal hammered head. There are some uses of a hard hammer. A hard hammer is used for striking punches called chisels, steel letters, and figures. It is also used for forging hot metal, riveting, bending, straightening, pinning, stretching, and swagging. 3. What are some uses of soft hammers? Soft hammers are used when striking finished or semi-finished workpieces to prevent marring the finished surface. For example, soft hammers are commonly used for setting a workpiece in a machine, vice or tapping finished work being set up for a machining or layout operation. Describe the hard hammers most commonly used by machinists and identify their parts. Indicate an important use of each hammer. What is mainly by meaning of swagging? Pinning or swagging is the stretching or spreading of metal by hammering. Examples of pinning include flattening the end of a rivet, spreading bobbitt metal to fit tightly in a bearing, and straightening a bar by stretching its short side. How is the size hammers specified? The size of a hard hammer is specified by the weight of the head without the handle. Ball pen hammer size range from 2 to 3 lab size. For soft face hammers are specified by the diameter of the face and the length of the head, and range from 5 in diameter to 3 in diameter. Faces are specified in degrees of hardness from super soft to extra hard. What is a hand punch? A hand punch is tool held by a hand against a workpiece. The end contact with the workpiece is shaped to a particular job, whereas the other end. Name the different types of punches commonly used by the machinist. The punches used most of them by the machinist are the drift punch, pin punch, prick punch, center punch, and automatic center punch. What is drift punch? A drift punch is a long tapered punch used for loosening straight pins, taper pins, rivets, and other small parts being disable. A gradual uniform taper and provides strength needed to withstand the powerful impact of the punch against the pins or parts being loosened. How should a drift punch be used? The diameter at the small end should be slightly smaller than the diameter of the part to be knocked loose. The punch end should be located squarely on the part and held firmly against the part. The head of the punch should be struck squarely using a quick, sharp blow with a hard hammer. Once the part has been loosened, the drift punch should not be used because the tapered end will become wedged in the hole. A drive pin punch should be used to drive the pin to the hole. 12. Are drive pin punches and how should they be used? Drive pin punches are used to set, place, or remove straight and taper pins and sometimes small parts requiring a drive fit. The diameter of the punch head are made slightly smaller than the nominal size so that the punch will not bind in the hole. For use precision parts, the punch ends should be smooth, flat, and square to avoid damaging the parts. Smaller diameter punches require greater care to prevent bending or breaking. When assembling or removing paint, the work must be correctly supported.
What is a prick punch? A prick punch is made of hardened tool steel and ground to a slender point having a 30° to 60° included angle. It is used to mark lightly or indent the interaction of layout lines. What is center punch? A center punch is similar to a prick punch in appearance except for the point which is ground to a 90° include angle. What is an automatic center punch? The automatic center punch makes punch marks of a uniform size without the use of a hammer. What is a screwdriver? A screwdriver is a hand tool that is designed to turn screws. What is a heavy-duty screwdriver? A heavy-duty screwdriver is of average length but is made with a heavy blade and a square shank. What is a Phillips screwdriver? A Phillips screwdriver is specially designed to fit the heads of Phillips screws. What is the purpose of double-ended offset screwdriver? A double-ended offset screwdriver is used for turning screws and awkward places where there is not enough room to use a regular screwdriver. How should that blade of a worm screwdriver be ground? A screwdriver blade should be ground so that faces will be almost parallel with the sides of the screw slot as in the end of the blade should be made as thick as the slot in the screw will permit. What are pliers? The word pliers is a plural name for a single tools. Pliers are made in many styles and are used to perform as many different operations. What are long-nose pliers? Long-nose pliers are made, as the name implies, with a long tapering nose or jaws. What are diagonals? Diagonals are a special types of pliers used exclusively for cutting and stripping electrical wire. What is a clamp? What is a C-clamp? A C-clamp is an all-purpose clamp made in the shape of the letter C, in general used for all kind of work. It is made in many sizes. What is a toolmaker's clamp? A toolmaker's clamp consists of two flat steel jaws, which may be adjusted to fit a piece of work by means of a screw passing through the center of each jaw. Another screw in the end of one jaw is used to exert pressure on the other jaw.